Okay guys, so it is that time of the year where I come back from a somewhat small hiatus from YouTube in order to move into a new apartment, as I pretty much do every single year. But that also means, and as you can probably tell from the title of this video, we also have a new YouTube studio. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you guys around the studio. Maybe you're interested in how I make some of the videos here on the channel, or maybe you're just looking for a little bit of inspiration for your own YouTube studio. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys everything behind the scenes. But before we begin this video, let me just say, my name is Fran, and here on the channel, I make videos all about technology. I do reviews, I do opinion pieces, and sometimes I do YouTube studio tours. So if you like what you see here in today's video, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, so let's start off in the area where I probably spend the most amount of time in. So this is my main workstation, or whatever you might call it. So this is where I simultaneously record and also edit all of my videos here for the channel. So I'm not going to highlight everything here, but I did just want to highlight a couple things here, and there's quite a lot going on here in this desk, so try to bear with me. So this is a dual workstation system. So I not only do have my 16-inch 2020 MacBook Pro, which is maxed out, but I also have my PC workstation down there, which I actually set up. I'll actually leave the specifications for both of these systems up on the screen, but they're both pretty powerful, and they pack a ton of power in order for me to be able to edit all my videos here on the channel. And just over here to the right, I do have my actual camera setup. So this over here currently is the Sony A7SIII, which is paired up with the brand new Sony K3M. I actually just got that piece that allows me to actually have XLR going directly into my camera, and that's actually powering this microphone right here. This is the Sennheiser MKH416. It's a really nice microphone, but it's attached to the Samsung boom pole arm here, and I can actually just run everything directly into my camera and record a lot of these videos. Now, this will be replaced by the camera I'm currently recording with right here, which is the Sony A7 III paired up with the Tamron 17-28, but I'm not going to get too much into cameras and lenses. Just know I like to record on Sony. Now, when it comes to audio and different things like that, not much has really changed in that department since my last studio tour. I'm still using the Audient ID4 paired up with the Presonus Ares 3.5 monitors. And then also, I do have my peripherals here on my desk. So I am now using the MX Keys 3 keyboard as well as the MX Master 2 mouse. I do love this combination. And I also have the Apple Magic Keyboard and the Apple Magic Trackpad, which of course is for two different systems, but I am going to be switching over to just a single keyboard because it's capable of controlling multiple computers, but hopefully at the end replacing both of these workstations with a single Mac Pro. And then finally, I do have the actual desk itself. So this desk is actually, I forgot what it's called, I'll leave it on the screen, but it's from IKEA. I believe it's a Gerten. I actually finished and actually colored it myself. So it's a cherry wood color. It doesn't come like this, but this is also a standing desk. So as you can see, I do have a controller over here, and I can raise and lower the actual desk legs if I want to. I'll also leave those up on the screen if you guys are interested in looking at any type of standing desk options. So that is my main workstation. It's got a lot going on, I know, and hopefully that wasn't too confusing or overwhelming. But now let's move on to some other parts of the studio. Now, just off to the right of my main workstation is my gaming battle station, as some people would actually call it. And this setup I'm actually super duper proud of. So I'm gonna have to actually go handheld for this one. So if you guys can actually see over here, this is my new system that I just put together. This is an all new system sitting inside of the Lee 011 Dynamic. Super powerful. I've got the Asus Strix Z490 motherboard, an Intel i9-1090 900K processor, and the brand new GeForce RTX 3080 graphics card. This system is not exactly complete. I do plan on doing a full custom hardline water loop in it, but for now it's working and it's super silent, which is what I absolutely love. But you're gonna need a graphics card like the 3080 to power this monitor over here. This is the brand new LG Ultra Gear UHD monitor. So it's 4K 144 hertz. So you need a graphics card like that that's going to give you all of those 144 hertz. Absolutely love this monitor. I'm still using the same mode Logitech G900 mouse and the same Logitech G Pro keyboard. But what I did add to the system is actually back here. If you guys can actually see that, that is my brand new streaming system. So it's much lower powered, AMD B550 processor, B550 motherboard, 3600 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, very basic system. But what it does do is it allows me to stream if I'd like to without actually taking system resources from my PC. And attached to it is also the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. So if I want to do any type of streaming, I have a nice little convenient 2-PC streaming setup, as you guys can actually see here. And then, of course, I have the basic Microsoft Xbox One controller, which is, but all of this is actually sitting on top of the very same IKEA tabletop, another custom tabletop that I put together, sanded and finished. And if I kind of scroll back a little bit, it is sitting on top of 2 IKEA Alex drawers. So the same exact kind of basic setup. Now, over here on this part of the studio, this is kind of what I've called fluff, or what I always generally like to do whenever I put together a new studio. So as you guys can see, this is sort of just a basic setup. It's sort of more of a visual aid to kind of keep the background a little bit more interesting. So I do have a lot of lighting going on, so then that way it creates some pretty interesting bokeh circles. But overall, just kind of, like I mentioned, just makes the background a little bit more interesting. Not too much function to it. This is my kind of basic thinking chair when I'm thinking over some video ideas, I guess you can say, or possibly might do any type of recording inside of this actual chair. And then right over here is a couple of my tripods, and I do have one thing that is pretty interesting over here, I guess you could say, is my automated tripod head. So this is the Ifootage Shark Slider Mini. Actually, let me see if I can get a little bit of light here. This is the Ifootage Shark Slider Mini. It is a automated slider which allows me to get some pretty awesome tracking shots and also some pretty awesome orbiting shots, and you can actually add on to it even more, which I do plan on doing at some point in the future. But I really do love this slider, and I like to capture a lot of B-roll for the channel here with the slider. Now this part is pretty basic. This is my B-roll station. This is where I plan on shooting all of the B-roll for all of my future upcoming videos. Haven't shot any of it just yet, but yeah, I'll be shooting all of it here. And as you can see, it's just a plain white desk. It's always going to be, I mean, I have a color checker here and a MacBook, but that's just because it's here. This is where I'll be shooting a lot of all of my B-roll. But the actual lighting that I'm using for this B-roll station is a Godox, not deep parabolic softbox, but just a regular softbox, and once again powered by another Godox SL60W. So another nice and soft big light that I can actually use. But kind of turning our attention over to this section over here, because not much going on over there. This is sort of my camera area. So here's just some of the cameras that I use. Again, I think I'm going to need a little bit more light for this section. So this is my new baby. This is the Sony A7S Mark III, which I plan on shooting a lot more content. Probably all of my B-roll will be shot on that camera moving forward. And then I do have the Sony ZV-1. You saw my Sony A7 Mark III earlier. And then also the camera in my hand, which is the Sony A7SIII. And then over here is just some other lenses, the 70-180 Tamron and a Sony 1.8 85mm. Now down here, I just keep a couple of drawers. They're kind of messy, so I don't want to open them, but I kind of just keep a bunch of, like, you know, audio gear for some of the things that I'm actually shooting. And down at the very bottom, I keep a couple of keyboards and extra peripherals that I actually need. And then finally, this is my storage closet. I probably shouldn't show this off at all, but why not? So as you guys can see, this is just really where I keep all the boxes for all the stuff that you know I've got. But yeah, I kind of keep everything organized inside of bins. So I've got bins over here with CPU coolers, GoPro stuff, Apple stuff. Over here I've got more bins full of hard drives and PCI Express stuff, power cables. Over here I've got a bunch of other items like batteries and battery charging stations and drone batteries and a drone itself. I also have a whole bin full of headphones, believe it or not. Some hard drives, M.2 hard drives, RAM, different things like that. Here's some other things that might be a little bit interesting. So this is my actual, I would guess you can say, network rack. Funny enough, I have a little fan kind of keeping everything cool. So this is my Qnap Tvs X72 Xt. It is a NAS device, super awesome. I plan on doing a full review on just the NAS and how to upgrade it and stuff. Got some other items like a 10 gigabit switch and also some expansion storage. And then finally an Orbi Wi-Fi access point with a bunch of satellites around my home. But yeah, that is everything that's here in my storage closet. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap it up for my YouTube studio tour. I'll be sure to leave links to everything that I think is relevant down in the video description below in case you guys were interested and wanted to check it out or pick it up. And for all those folks out there, if you're watching this video and looking for a little bit of inspiration for your own YouTube studio, hopefully you found it here in today's video. And for those other folks who just had those burning questions as to how I make some of the content here on the channel, hopefully this video also answered that as well. And if you guys have any suggestions or tips or recommendations for my YouTube studio and how to make it better, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I'm pretty interested in always improving my studio and making things better. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if it's your first time to the channel, consider subscribing. Once again, guys, my name is Fran. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.